Hey guys, John here, and have you seen the brand new Makita Maktrak? It's a beastie looking toolbox system, brand new from Makita. It only just launched in the US last week, but we're not getting it in the UK. I don't know when we're gonna get it. We've asked Makita, we've sent out loads of emails trying to find out when's it coming to the UK and Europe, and we don't know. That is the short answer. Nobody knows, no one can answer us. So I went on a bit of a hunt and thought, can I make my own Maktrak? And on my journey, I found what I think is the bargain of the century, and that is the Budget Maktrak at less than a tenth of the price of the Maktrak box. The starting Maktrak kit, which is the big rolling box and two boxes to go with it, is $429, comes out about £329. And my budget version is less than 30 quid. This beastie, believe it or not, was made in the UK. Look at the sticker on the front. This is what I would consider the ultimate budget, horizontally based Maktrak system. I got this out of the dusty back room of a hardware shop called Fricke in Wolfsburg in Germany. They let me go and have a route round it. It was like a rabbit warren, this place, and they had loads of stuff. And I actually shipped back a whole bunch of boxes. Go and watch the video here if you're interested. And one of my finds, one of the top gems, was this thing. Never seen such a big Makita box. It comes with wheels and a handle, horizontally based. You can't put an extending box on it, and you can't put any attachments on the outside, but it's a pretty beast. I think we can fit a lot of tools in this thing. And believe it or not, this thing is made in the UK. I don't know if that means it's the power tools or it's the box. I very much doubt it's the power tools. They're a kind of thing that's made in like China or Taiwan. But the box, we have a lot of plastic injection molding companies in the UK. Not far from me on the Windsor Industrial Estate, there's a few big molding companies. So I can believe this box was made in the UK. And that's why I want to turn it into the Budget Maktrak. There's only one problem, and that is the inside. Let me show you how it comes. Look at the state of that. That is the problem with these molded cases. This box, believe it or not, is for a 5-piece Makita toolkit, which is mental. Imagine turning up to a job site with this thing and having literally a jigsaw there, nothing around it. You know, you've got 5 tools in that whole box. And obviously once you change up your gear, this thing isn't gonna work. And that's why it's probably just sat in the dusty back cupboard of Fricke. However, you can get a second life of these. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how to turn this rather unassuming and quite useless toolbox into the ultimate Budget Maktrak. So step 1, I've got to get my multi-tool out and cut all of this injection molded piece out of the middle to give us a nice, solid, empty shell. There we go, that is the 2 plastic centres cut out of this. I took my time, used a multi-tool, and I've got a nice clean cut all the way around. And you might notice there's a bit of a lip on both sides, and that's so it still closes nicely, and it's still a nice solid box. And then I used an engineer's file and a deburring tool and just go around, clean up that edge, and that's it. That is pretty solid still. I thought sometimes these cases, you cut the guts out and it can really weaken them, but that, it's still pretty solid. Then once I put foam in it, it's gonna be really, really solid. So that is the next job, fitting some foam in this. And for that, I've already had a quick measure, and it's 50 centimeters wide, 80 centimeters deep. So I can use one of our medium sheets, which is a bit cheaper than the custom size. I can literally just chop the end off. And then I'll be using, I reckon, 2 70 mils and a 30 to get to the top on that one, and then maybe a 70 and a 50 to get to the top on that one. And I'll be trimming it in. So basically I'll be taking a medium sheet, cutting the end off, putting a radius on the bottom corner so it fits into this. You can see it kind of corners and dips here. And then just trimming the radius on the corner. It'll be a little bit of fettling back and 2 to get them to fit. But I'll do all that off screen, save you the time, make some shadow foam inserts and fill this up to the top so we can get straight into the tool. So it's empty now, let's fill it with foam. And there we go. Filled to the brim with foam. That looks awesome, and it's going to be a huge upgrade from just 5 tools. So I reckon I could fit at least 10 in here now, and I've got a nice blank canvas to work through. I've also put the wheels back on. You can see them at the bottom here. So I used a Hacksmith's Mini Saber, shout out to the Hacksmith, to heat up the end of the bar and then melted it through, put the wheels back on. So it's pretty much back to exactly how it was beforehand. Looks no different than how I received it, except for now it's a blank canvas and I can put my own tools in it. I've got 2 70s and a 30 in this base layer here, so there's a lot of depth, so I can have a lot of tools, and I might have to jig around, put some sideways. I want to fit as much as I can in here to make it true competition for the Maktrak on a budget. So let's do a layout. That is the layout sorted, and I'm pretty happy with that. I've got 12 tools plus the adapter in here. So I don't know how much you could fit in a Maktrak. Let me know in the comments, but I doubt it's 12 power tools all neatly organized, plus 5 batteries and 12 power tools. That's pretty mammoth. What have we got? Well, I've got the jigsaw and I've got the impact driver. I've got the heat gun. This is a pretty new addition to my collection. Not as powerful as a leaded heat gun, but if you're out on the site, it's kind of good in a bind, and it can certainly work for an electrician doing heat shrink and heat sleeving and stuff. We've got the pin nailer, torch, grinder, all of this stuff's brushes. I've got the SDS drill, orbital sander, combi drill, impact gun, multi-tool, and the angle drill. Stuff like this isn't the regular use tool, but it can get you out of a problem. It's a bit of a problem-solving tool if you're trying to get to an awkward spot, and it's good to have it with you, you know. The thing is, you face the problems when you're out on the road. There's no point having it in your workshop or in your garage, so I just thought, include it in this kit. You've got it with you. 12 tools, I think, is a pretty good. I mean, this layout might change when I start cutting it, but there's a lot in there, and there's still room around the stuff. How am I going to cut all of this? Well, it's all going to be done by hand. Every tool on this layout is going to be cut in the exact same way. So it's going to be using a scalpel that comes in our cutting kits. These come free with most orders at shadowfoam.com, and it's got anti-cut gloves in it, scalpel, blades, everything you need to do this job. And that's all I'm going to need. So first thing is get the anti-cut glove on, and then all I'm going to be doing is cutting around each tool, basically following it like a pencil, capturing the profile on the foam, taking the tool away, cutting around, peeling back layers until each item sits flush. Basically, all the tools have to be right down flush to the surface. So then not only are they protected and held and I know where they are when I need them, but also the case closes. So something a bit different in this one too. I'm going to be doing all of this in one go. I'm going to put a clock on the screen. Drop a guess down in the comments. How long do you think it'd take to cut 12 power tools, 5 batteries and a few other bits into foam in this mammoth case? Let me know how many tools you think you'd fit in a Maktrak and if this is any comparison. And while you're dropping that comment, I'm going to start cutting. So let's get to it. And there we have it. That is the Budget Maktrak all done. And I've actually fit more tools in there than I'd planned in my original layout. So basically when I'm cutting the foam, I'm kind of working on the layout as I'm doing it and little bits together. I want to fit as much as I can in there at the end of the day. The more tools, the better. And I managed to fit in the little trim router. And basically my logic is it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So having the trim router was a bit of a bonus. This layout on this side was pretty much the same though, but I did slot in another battery on its own. And it's the same technique, just cutting around the shapes, peeling back the foam. Obviously they have to be cutting quite deep, so there's a lot of foam to peel out, and all done by hand. And once I'd finished all of the cutting, I'd just go back basically with the stencil set and just cut little semicircles on all of the triggers for the items, just to make it nice and easy to get the tools in and out. But it took me an hour and 23 minutes to do that whole thing, which I don't think's bad going. It felt a bit longer than that, to be fair, but when I looked at the timer, that's what it was, an hour and 23. I didn't stop, and how many blades did I use? 8 total, which again, that's not a lot of blades. I would have thought it was going to be more than that, but I just change them when I'm feeling that they're snagging the foam and they're not cutting cleanly. So 8 blades isn't very much. What do you reckon to the Budget Maktrak? I love it. I think that is really cool. It's hard to believe that is a €30 case, and it still closes and everything stays in because I've cut it all nice and tight. So there we go. And if I just wheel it into the middle, it's quite a heavy beast.
Jeepers, mister, you're really strong.
And for €30, not only is it a bargain, it's saving this case from landfill because it's pretty much useless with that moulded insert in. Can you believe this was only designed to hold 5 tools in that Makita little kit and a few batteries? And now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 big power tools, 4 batteries and the little USB thing. And there's still a bit of room for accessories and other stuff. So there we have it. That is the Shadow Foam Budget Maktrak. Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you've managed to get this far and you don't know what a Maktrak is, I'll just, for all those wondering, go and watch this video up here. It's on our brand new channel. And on there, we talk about the Maktrak. And essentially, it's Makita's new to the market modular toolbox system. It's pretty expensive. It's only in the US, but I do believe it's coming to the UK very soon. So go and check that video out. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. It's all about toolboxes. Toolboxes that have already been out on the market, but they're interesting, and the brand new, the latest news on toolboxes is all on that channel. So make sure you go and follow that, subscribe if you're interested, and I'll see you over there. I think it's time to close this up, roll it around, give you some beauty shots, and I'll see you in the next one.